So I jumped on the computer the other day and I saw a video in my feed of a bunch of super cubes. Like, I think they're calling them Lego bricks. And I was like, oh, cute. My old pal super cubes. And then I saw it again and again and again. I was like, oh my gosh, is this thing becoming viral right now? I've been using these guys forever, and that's why I'm making this video. I'm pulling up some old footage to show you how I like to use them. I'm sure you're gonna learn a thing or two. In case you don't know me, I am obsessed with my cold pressed juices, but who has the time to juice every single day? Not me. So I depend on freezing my juice batches, which is great for nutrient preservation and less waste and just being able to keep up drinking them every single day. So I'm gonna show you one of my favorite ways to use these. This is a big batch of immunity shots, and I like to just pour them in here. So you know how much you're getting. I'm gonna throw like 1 cup in here. And then of course they freeze in rectangles here. And you can just put them in like mason jars to thaw. Oh my gosh, I love them. By the way, they have like this metal frame on them. They're really sturdy, so when you're transporting them, they're not gonna like give out on you and bend. They are super stable. So let's transport them to the freezer. So this is great for broths, sauces, baby food, whatever your pleasure. Sometimes it just doesn't take long to freeze things. They still need to go a little longer, but as you can see, they just pop out so easily. There is no struggling here. I mean, they'll freeze and expand a little more, but basically I take a tray and then I just turn this over and pop it out right on the tray. Silicone stasher bags are a great option for storing frozen cubes. You can just squeeze the air out by hand and get a pretty solid seal. But my favorite method is vacuum sealing because it removes practically all of the air, especially in the chamber vacuum sealer. So you definitely have options. These are just the ones that I use the most. Are you going to a party? You're going to, eventually, and they're gonna want you to bring drinks. Guess what we use them for? We make our own ice packs with these. All it is just popping them out, vacuum sealing them, and now you have your own instant ice pack. And then this size, my husband is a genius. He came up with this idea, and we use them all the time. Like, yes, we have ice packs, but if you put them in here, then who cares if like they make it home or not from wherever you're going. Okay, so here's one that has been in the freezer for way too long, but we use it as an ice pack, like I just showed. And let's pretend this is juice. And you could just fit it in one of these wide mouth glasses and throw your lids around a little bit. Oh my God, do I have like Butterfingers? And then you can just carry this to work in your bag. And I don't know, maybe by lunchtime, you shake it up and then it becomes like a little juice smoothie. That's how I like to use these. Of course, soups. Whether it's gonna be leftovers or you're just double batching it, which is what I did tonight, because we can have this tomorrow with our sourdough and then next time we can just reheat that. But here's the thing, you can bulk it up. This is basically like a repurposed pork loin, beans, veggie soup, and I'm gonna save it in a super cube. When I reheat it, I'm gonna add like noodles to it. So I don't like to add noodles to soup before saving it in a super cube because they don't always hold up very well. A lot of repurposing going on with these things, so. Let's pick these bay leaves out of here. Ooh. Meal prep gets a lot easier when you pair the right tools together, like super cubes and the Instant Pot. When I want to cook easy soups to freeze, I'll batch cook them in the Instant Pot and have one for dinner, and then save the rest in the freezer. I'll literally just serve dinner right from the pot, like this split pea and ham soup, and then portion them off in cubes afterwards and just give them a seal. So we've got my split pea and ham, and of course, my beef stew, and sometimes I feel like they taste even better as leftovers once they get reheated. So you literally just take out a frozen cube, put it in some sort of container in the fridge so it can start defrosting overnight, and then by dinner time the next day, it's ready to be reheated in a pot on the stove. You could also do it from frozen, no problem. Now let's shift from full meals to prepped components. You don't always have to prep an entire meal for meal prep to work. Having prep components can be just as powerful, sometimes even more. Should have worn an apron. This is a good example. I was making lasagna one night, so I made extra sauce at the same time. I also bulked up the other ingredients so I could make 2 lasagnas, one for dinner and one for the freezer. So that extra sauce just becomes a component I can use later for another lasagna, stuffed shells, what have you. This isn't about batch cooking the same meal over and over. It's about having flexible pieces ready to go. Same idea works for sauces, proteins, even soup components. So I have one prepped and it's gonna go in the freezer, and I have extra sauce. And then inside here, I've got the lasagna for tonight. You know, I'm gonna thank myself so much for this in the future. And it took like, what, an extra 10 minutes? It's nothing, but now I have a whole nother dinner. It's gonna be delicious and homemade, thanks to planning ahead and meal prep. Ooh, label. And as I was putting in the meat sauce, I found this. There's another thing I planned ahead. You know those gigantic cans of clams for clam chowder from Costco? You can freeze the extra sauce and clams, make a whole new soup. I love these things. And these will go in a vac bag as well. So I made enchilada sauce because I love making extra sauce and just having it for like meal prep. I made it in the 1 cup cube size. So a few days ago, I pulled this out of the freezer and just popped them into a glass container where they can just defrost in the fridge. And so now, I can work with them instead of like, I mean, you could definitely take them from frozen, put them in a pan, or you could like sous vide them. There's so many things you can do, but like this is kind of my method, is just I take them the day before I want to work with them or a few days before, pop them out, put them in a container to defrost, and then it's a lot easier than trying to work with a frozen cube, although that is possible too, and I have done it. So either way, it's just really handy. Okay, we are at the home stretch, and I just want to show a few more options that I like. So it is winter season right now. It is very cold. I like comfort foods, and pasta and casseroles do really well in the super cubes as well. So this is a chicken Alfredo. So I just made it and then shoved the noodles in. So anything with like noodles and sauce works really well. So if you are cooking pasta, my only suggestion is just cook the noodles al dente so that the integrity of the noodle structure is still there. I would probably microwave these so I don't like break up all the noodles on the stove. Casseroles. Right here, I have an example of a broccoli ham rice casserole, and I also have done shepherd's pie. That one works really well too. So you can just make your casserole as usual, let it cool, and then you can portion it off, stick it into the super cube, let it freeze, pop it out, you're good to go. I also did some sort of rice pilaf with meatballs and veggies. So stay tuned for the future because I'm gonna start playing around with these super cubes in different sorts of ways. Whether it's like what those people are doing with the Lego bricks where you're doing like a protein, a veg, a carb, that sort of thing, and kind of mix and matching and making meals out of that. Or what if quiches? Has anyone done quiches in there? I don't know. I'm gonna get brainstorming on this. So if you got any value out of this, by the way, I would love for you to hit a thumbs up and come back for more, subscribe. I'm always doing something over here. So yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully we'll keep on this super cube journey and see what happens. Peace.